Football fans, come on in. Come on in. Sit on down. Sit on down. This is going to be cinematic. You have the number one undefeated team going on the road to Allen Fieldhouse, one of the most premier environments in the country. Have a seat around the campfire. Let's talk basketball.
Welcome on into the AZ Wildcats pregame show, live from Studio K, presented by our friends over at Circle K. We got a top 10 matchup to talk about here in just 30 minutes, tipping off number 1 Arizona versus number 9 Kansas. Cannot wait to talk about it. I'm Damon Fairall, your host. My co-host, Kevin Thomas, is here right next to me, and of course, we got a banger tonight. We're going to be going pregame, watch along, postgame, and we can't wait to do it with all of you fine folks.
Let's go! Big Monday! This is exactly what you want. The first game with everybody's eyes on it after the Super Bowl. You got the number 1 team undefeated going in to KU's Allen Fieldhouse. Beware of the fog. The whole thing, Damon. Something's got to give in this matchup, right? Arizona undefeated stands a chance to defeat Bill Self in Kansas and maybe have the longest winning streak in Big 12 history if they have a chance to get it done with 24. But first, you got to defeat Bill Self, who is 38-0 on Big Monday. But like I said, something's got to give, right? He has yet to beat a number 1 rated team in his own house. He's 0-5 against the number 1 rated team in Allen Fieldhouse. Well, at least Kansas is. Bill Self has never welcomed the number 1 team into Allen Fieldhouse. So this is kind of uncharted territory for Kansas to an extent if they were to get it done, which is saying something for a program as historic as that one.
Yeah, that is an interesting statistic. I mean, you would think that Kansas is probably the team that is typically representing the number 1 team in the country when playing at Allen Fieldhouse. But, this is a new Big 12, a new era of college athletics where this is, as much as everyone wanted to make out, the conference alignment about football, and it was. I mean, that's what drove it to happen. It created a super conference kind of out of thin air in basketball in the Big 12. I mean, the Big 12 is completely taken over basketball, and now Kansas it's a new era where it's not just a gimme that they're going to win the Big 12 every single year, right? There's Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, Texas Tech, teams that are competing for, not only the conference, but for national titles, it feels like, year in and year out. And so that's, that's the good side of what happened with this conference realignment situation for Arizona is now we get to play these Kansases of the world instead of playing Stanford on a Tuesday night, in front of 600 people in Palo Alto. This is the pinnacle of college basketball, and it certainly made the regular season side of college basketball just that much more fun for Arizona fans.
Do you want another fun fact, Damon?
I would love one.
And this one will really tickle you. The last time a number 1 team played in Allen Fieldhouse. Is
that a threat?
I don't know. I think you might like it. But the last time a number 1 team played in Allen Fieldhouse was when? January 25th, 2003, when the Arizona Wildcats went into Fog Allen and defeated KU 91-74. So maybe a little bit of deja vu going on for some of the KU fans that have been around since the early 2000s to really feel this history because, as you know, Arizona and Kansas, kind of a storied basketball rivalry in a lot of ways, a lot of overlapping between the two programs. So this one is as historic as it's going to be entertaining tonight, Damon. I'm excited to get into it with you.
Yeah, I don't know if either of my parents are here watching, but I believe they went to that game. I believe they traveled to Lawrence for that one. I'm having a flashback moment of me staying at my grandma's house while my parents went to go watch Kansas, Arizona. I believe also, and this is for my guy Brian in the chat if he's here, I believe Kansas was up at halftime, and then the Cats came storming back in the second half and won that game. So there is a little bit of a history of going to the Allen Fieldhouse for the Arizona Wildcats. And, of course, last season, if you remember, Arizona lost to a worse Kansas team, albeit the Arizona team itself was also worse. And so, both good teams, but neither the level of what we're seeing in 2025-26, right? And so it feels like, it was already a tough place to play last year, an Arizona team that was better than that Hunter Dickinson-led Kansas team. And then now you go into this game and Kansas is playing at a different level. We know Arizona's playing at a different level, but it really just feels like, this is, you see it on all the lists. Like it's the game of the week, even over College game day on Saturday against Texas Tech in Arizona, owning basically the college basketball landscape this week. But it's wild that this game is just, that this is what we become accustomed to seeing every year in this conference all of a sudden. And that used to be few and far between. You remember the 03 Kansas game. Now it's every single year, essentially.
Indeed. And we do have a super chat before we get any deeper into this one. Owen Leonard congratulating us as a channel on 50,000 subscribers.
Huge.
Thank you to everybody in this stream right now that is subbed to PHNX Sports. If you have not subscribed, we just hit 50K. Join the Cool Kids Club. Get in on this. We got a pizza party coming in. And thank you, Owen, for your contributions to the pizza chat. The $20 super chats are absolutely rolling in. My mom, 20,000, or not 20,000, that'd be unbelievable. $20 super chat. Hi, one. Hi, all. Tonight, we're going to have a ball.
Shadow owns PHNX Sports with $20,000 super chats.
Dude, no wonder I host this show with you, Damon.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Kevin.
No, you're good. We just got super chats left and right. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. But let's get into this matchup, why we're all gathered here this evening to talk about Arizona versus Kansas. And I think we got to start with one place and one place only, and that is with our friends over at Three Amigos, our Shots Fired segment. You already know how this goes. Shots fired with our friends over at Three Amigos. We're going to let some shots off. I will go ahead and get us started, Damon. The fog of war, fog Allen Fieldhouse. It gives you this idea that Kansas is this unbeatable monster. And honestly, the stats kind of bear it out. The history kind of bears it out. The overall environment, the feel. Saul literally described it as a building that has aura to it in a way. You walk in and you're like, this is a different environment I've stepped into. But look, that's just fog of war. It's just stuff that when you're in the battle, you kind of get lost in it. You don't really understand that they have to play Arizona just the same way Arizona has to play Kansas. And in fact, Arizona is the undefeated side here. In fact, Arizona is the number one overall team in the country right now. In fact, Arizona has the best 8-man lineup that college basketball has seen in some time now. And Kansas has to play Arizona. Arizona does have to travel to Kansas in order to get this game done, but Kansas is the one it's incumbent upon to get the job done. Arizona, they gotta defend their own turf here as the number one team, but they gotta play us. We don't gotta play them. That is how you gotta act as the number one team in the country. And so for that reason, there's a lot of KU fans I'm seeing on social media that some of them respectful to what Arizona's been able to put to the table so far, saying, hey, you guys are kind of the top dog right now. If we get a W, that'd be insane. May the best team win. But some KU fans, Damon, I'm seeing are putting their Twitter account names on the line. They're saying, I'm so confident that I'll become an Arizona. Like, look, y'all got to understand, usually teams got to play Kansas. Tonight, Kansas has to play Arizona. And to that, the fog of war, your whole little cute building you got with your cute old Jayhawk logos in the hall and the cute rules on the outside of the building. It's awesome. It's cool for photos, cool for tours. But tonight, you're not winning. Arizona getting the job done. Shots fired at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. You ain't that special anyway. Cheers.
Wow. What a fantastic job by Kevin Thomas there. Just bringing the fire, bringing the energy on the Shots Fired segment sponsored by Three Amigos Tequila.
That was good.
Yeah, a little bit of añejo for you, Kevin.
Indeed, that was good.
Go ahead and you can find Three Amigos Tequila at your local Circle K, but of course they have a wider selection online as well. And Kevin and I need some more of that Ramona's Reserve to help get us through the remainder of this Big 12 season here. But I'm just going to keep mine short and sweet and simple, Kevin. Tony Padilla, you slimy bastard. Why don't we keep the spotlight to a minimum tonight? It's not about you. It's about the premier top 10 matchup, college basketball's matchup of the week that we are witnessing out there on the floor in Lawrence, Kansas. Tony Padilla has been assigned to this game. I regret to inform all of you guys that maybe did not know that before I I went on and started this spiel. I should have let off with that. We got Tony Padilla again. Yeah, that's right. Another big Monday game for the Arizona Wildcats and another Tony Padilla appearance. Coincidence? Who knows? I'm not making it conspiracy theories, but it feels like every single game we get Tony Padilla in a big game. Doesn't it, Kevin? Every single time. It doesn't. It feels purposeful at this point. And it's really just it's laughable. But guess what, Tony? I really hope that you weren't practicing that charge call in the mirror on this time around, because that one that he did against Jaden Bradley against BYU, Kevin. I mean, there's no way he wasn't practicing that in the mirror at halftime, just being like, "This is how I'm gonna flip the tide of the game in favor of BYU." No more, no mas. Tony Padilla, we're done. We're done. Enough. You've been a ref for too long. You've reffed too many Arizona games. Get over it. Get over it. Don't try to take control of the game tonight. Let the boys play, but don't let them play too much. And let's have ourselves a good, clean game, Kevin. Let's not. I want to see the Zebras getting involved in this one, and I'm looking straight at Tony Padilla.
I mean, that was impassioned. It was accurate, and it was true. Tony Padilla, I do not like seeing him anywhere near basketball games that I am personally involved in, at least emotionally. And there is rumor, as Mr. Tyler Warden is saying in the chat, that Darryn Peterson might not be playing in this one. As if you go through Twitter, at least the latest under the Darryn Peterson tab of things, it seems as if there's a lot of speculation that he has the flu, that he's not really warming up with the team. So we'll keep you updated on that as maybe more things, maybe potentially more official things.
Ducking Arizona?
You know, I don't know. But this would be, I think, him not playing in the Duke game. I don't think he played when they played against, who was it? I don't think he played in the UConn game either. And now it would be the Arizona game. So it would be really unfortunate for Darryn Peterson to not get to play in this one. But yeah, like Owen Leonard says, I'll believe he's not playing when I see it, because I do think that this is a matchup where if he doesn't play in this game, he must have the flu that I have not seen in some sort of time, maybe in 5 years' time, because, man, this is a big game to not play in under the guise of a flu. I'm not saying that, like I said, if he's truly sick, he's truly sick.
Kevin wants to see video evidence.
I want more than just I don't think he's out there warming up. Like maybe he's back there getting his hamstring taped or some, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Wow.
But, yeah.
Not listed as a starter as well per a Kansas Jayhawks reporter. I mean, that would be absolutely massive, Kevin.
It would.
And you know what? This pregame show is not used to having big news in the way of, star players sitting out happen at, convenient times. I'll date us back, unfortunately, to the Holiday Bowl, where Kevin and I our pregame show that we had just taped at the hotel is live when we find out Traden Stukes, Genesis Smith, and Dalton Johnson are out. It was a disaster. So this is definitely new territory in that regard. But listen, Kevin, I'm not mad at it. Darryn Peterson, take care of yourself, man. You got an NBA future to look forward to.
Look, man, it's really disappointing though. Because now if Arizona goes in there and whoops on the Jayhawks, we didn't have Darryn Peterson. Because as we're gonna get to in our score predictions and all this and all that, it feels like Arizona can get the dub even if Darryn Peterson suits up. Right, so this is a huge opportunity for Arizona to go in, make history in Fog Allen, and not have an asterisk next to it. But if there is, that's really unfortunate. And I get that you see Kansas again in a couple of weeks when they come to Tucson, but it's simply not the same as having that bragging rights of beating a full-strength Kansas in their house. But yeah, if he does not play, this one could get ugly, Damon, dog.
Yeah,
this one could get ugly.
That would be a huge, huge game changer. I mean, that goes without saying. It's the potential number one overall pick in the draft. And yeah, if he is not going to be playing, that's going to be a big difference here. But yeah, it feels like Kansas and any team that faces up against Arizona this season, especially just with the balance the Cats have, the consistency that Arizona brings to the table, like you're going to need game changers to really break a game open. Kansas is unique in the fact that they have a top 10 defense in the country, and they have the offensive star power of one Darryn Peterson. And I think that the combination of those two things makes it where you are uniquely somewhat built to beat Arizona. You also factor in a guy like Flory Badunga, who is, as we've highlighted throughout last week, Kevin, or on Saturday with Saul, Flory Badunga probably the best center that Arizona has faced since Alex Condon in the first game of the season against Florida.
And he's better than Condon. I think he's the best they played all year.
He might be the best they've played all year, for sure. And so, you have this unique build of a team in Kansas that I think really does have what it takes to get the job done, and it's why the line has been as close as it is. I believe Arizona was -2.5, Kevin.
Yeah, I saw it -1.5 at some points as well. It was a really close line.
Yeah.
The only Mr. Tyler Warden saying it's already moved 2 points as well. So
Wow.
It does seem like things are trending towards Darryn Peterson not playing, potentially ducking this one. And I don't like saying
Arizona up to -225. It was -160 when I was looking at it earlier today.
And you know me pretty well at this point in time, Damon. I don't like saying dudes are ducking certain teams. I don't think it's like in most times. I don't think it's the reality of what's happening. But like this is a weird. I've been defending Darryn Peterson all year long, as you know, like off air, on air. I've been like, hey man, if you got a nagging injury and you got tens of millions of dollars on the line, why not like sit out until you're 100% healed or play on a minutes restriction? I think the minutes restriction shows he kind of cares about some of these games if you're not 100%. But if you got the damn flu and you can't play and I think maybe it was Deborah Owens in the chat that said, look, if the doctor said you can't play because you can get everybody sick, that I would hear it. But, man, I don't think that usually happens. I feel like you hear all the time of, oh, this player's been playing through an illness all week. And I'm like, so our whole team could get sick? Is that what you're telling me? But, yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Became this much more important in this one, Kevin.
I think he probably got the call before Darryn Peterson did, that Darryn Peterson was not playing in this game.
I'll tell you what happened. Bill Self is calling up Yormark, and he's going, hey, man, I got bad news. Darryn Peterson's not going to be probably suiting up for Big Monday. Bad illness. And Yormark goes, cool. I'll send in the big guns.
It looks like
Tony
he is
TP, baby.
It looks like he's out in this game, Damon.
Wow, confirmed out. That's wild, man.
Yeah, it looks like he's out in this game.
That is absolutely wild. Darryn Peterson out against Arizona. I feel like we need to get a headline change going here.
Yeah, potentially
on the AZ Wildcats pregame show, because that is the story now. Is that Darryn Peterson is out. I made the joke of you got a career to protect, but I say that in jest because I do as you said, I want to play Kansas at full strength, and I want to see what this measuring stick looks like, because it's Arizona, while being battle tested with an insanely difficult schedule, let's face it, still hasn't lost a game yet. And I think that as many of these tough games as possible just gives you more and more confidence, even with an undefeated record, that you're going to go into March and you're going to handle business, because you've been playing such high level basketball for such a long time. That's not to say that Kansas is going to go out there and just be a bunch of bums, lay an egg, that they're terrible all of a sudden, because they got plenty of talent. They got 5 stars up and down their roster.
They've won games without Peterson already this year.
They've won games without Peterson. You've mentioned Melvin Council. He can light it up on any given night. I mean, they have the squad to go out there and supplement a little bit, missing a Darryn Peterson. But that being said, it's just a lot different. It feels like you need Darryn Peterson to take down number 1 Arizona, this current iteration of Arizona.
Well, we have about 10 minutes until this game tips off, Darryn Peterson or not. The train is leaving the station with or without him. Let's talk about this Kansas squad. Now, keep in mind, when these graphics were made, when the show was planned, Darryn Peterson was playing in this game. We have the strengths of Kansas: team defense, Darryn Peterson, and balance to their starting 5. Now, the reason I have Darryn Peterson as one of their strengths, usually Damon and I try to not do that. We try to not have simplify things down to, well, they got this guy, that means they're going to be good. That means they're one of their strengths. But when you have a generational offensive talent like Darryn Peterson, it is one of your team identifiers. It is the reason you beat Texas Tech. It is the reason you're in some of these games. And not having him means guys like Melvin Council, guys like Trey White, guys like Flory Badunga, even some of their more depth pieces as well, Damon, like a Rosario or an Elmarco Jackson, for example. They're going to have to step up in ways that I don't know if they're capable of doing against the Arizona side, especially without Darryn Peterson, right? And how is Flory Badunga going to get the basketball without Darryn Peterson? That's a different dynamic to its own. You have to run different things without Darryn Peterson in there. So I don't know how long Kansas has known about these flu-like symptoms. I don't know how long Kansas has known that he might not play tonight. But if they're as surprised as we are, which I don't think that they would be, but I think that would change a lot for them. But I still think that even without Darryn Peterson, they do still have good balance to their starting 5, right? Yeah. You have a top center in the sport right? And Flory Badunga. You have one of the best R&B artists in the country, Bryson Tiller, as your power forward. You got Melvin Council, who he can light it up for 30 on any given night. Tyler Warden in the chat said he's going to put up 30 field goal attempts in this game now because Darryn Peterson's not in there. And I think that's actually, hyperbolically possible, right? Like, the man is going to try to take over this game on his own, especially at home, especially with that crowd. Look, the crowd ain't going anywhere. Darryn Peterson might be gone, but the crowd not gone. They've been camped in there for some days now, and they want to get loud. So Melvin Council is going to do everything he can to do that. And then the last piece of that balance without Darryn Peterson is Trey White, right? A wing who is an incredible rebounder, a consistent customer. We talk about the consistency of some of our guys. Trey White fits right under that umbrella. He is cut from that same cloth. He has 5 double-doubles this year. He's second on Kansas in scoring, and he leads Kansas with the most threes made, most free throws made, and also his 85.5 free throw percent is top in the Big 12, at least top 5 in the Big 12. So they do have, to your point earlier, they do have a bunch of really solid players on this team. Even without Darryn Peterson, this is a team that can catch you. I just don't think that they catch Arizona without Darryn Peterson tonight.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. It makes a massive difference. That is also one of the funniest moments in AZ Wildcats podcast history.
Yeah, I wait all season to do a strength with one player.
Of Darryn effing Peterson. And then he gets announced as out. I mean, it's a massive miss, but as you put, in the next key there is, this is essentially, a team that is stacked from top to bottom. I mean, it's not a one-man show of Darryn Peterson. They have a lot of guys who can light it up. They have plenty of double-digit scorers outside of Darryn Peterson that, they can lean on. So, this one it's still one of Arizona's tougher matchups so far this season, even without the potential number 1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft out there. Why don't we go ahead and look at some of Kansas's weaknesses now, Kevin?
Yes, real quick, before we go with your expert transition there that I'm now going to step on, I want to talk about their defense for one more second, just give some notes, because if we're talking about a team that can still win games without their star offensive guy, it's Kansas with their incredible defense. They're holding opponents to just 38% from the field. That's the best in the Big 12. Holding opponents to just 44.8 from 2. That's the second best in the Big 12. Holding opponents to just, 29.4% on their threes. That's the best in the Big 12. 6.1 blocks per game, also best in the Big 12. They do only force 5.3 steals, but when you're getting that many blocks, I feel like it's kind of a little column A, a little column B, where the blocks are going to eat away from the steals in that sense. But they also do this Ivan Kharchenkov style, where they don't foul their opponents. Only 14.3 personal fouls committed per game, also best in the Big 12. So Darryn Peterson or not, you got to contend with that defense, and I don't think the defense goes anywhere without Darryn Peterson in the lineup. I know that he is also a good defender in his own right, but yeah, Saul is at home. He might be joining us during our watch along there, Bill, as well. So let's get into these weaknesses, like Damon said. Offensive rebounding, and that was my reaction when Darryn Peterson was ruled out for this game on the left. Offensive rebounding, they're 16th in the Big 12 in offensive rebound percent, 16th in the Big 12 in offensive rebounds per game. This team cannot get it done on their own glass. That is where Motiejus Krivas, Tobe Awaka, Koa Peat, Brayden Burries, Kharchenkov and company come in, clean up the trash, and get it done on that side. Front court depth, it's pretty much just Tiller and Badunga in terms of KU's front court. They don't have any size to supplement that. If you can get one of those two guys in foul trouble early, you could be rolling in this game. Not key number 3, but weakness number 3 for Kansas. They got little to no bench production oftentimes, I feel like. 12.5 bench points per contest. That's 14th in the Big 12. Like I said in the strengths graphic, they have great balance to their starting 5, but the bench leaves, I feel like, a lot to be desired from Kansas's point of view. So those are some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses for Kansas. And now as we get, kind of combining those, what do we got for the keys to this one? We got perimeter defense. Well, this is also when I thought that Darryn Peterson was in the game. I was thinking you got to absolutely be disciplined on that part of the things, not let Darryn Peterson, Melvin Council, and company get off, their offense from the perimeter, because I also, Darryn Peterson being out really screws with things. So I also had this very nice chart, right? Now you see this is drive rate, rim field goal percentage, and assist to turnover ratio. Brayden Burries drives on 38.5% of his possessions. But look at that rim field goal percentage. When he gets to the rim, he is lights out, 70.5%. All the way down to the bottom there is Darryn Peterson, who drives a lot less, maybe the least on this list, in fact, just 20%. But he also has the worst assist to turnover ratio on here. So I was going to say, if you can force him, if you can pack the paint, force Darryn Peterson to not get into the paint, have some crazy dunks on you. But I think that goes for all the guards, right? I think that goes for all the guards of KU. It's going to be hard for them to create without Darryn Peterson in the game, especially if you have Krivas defending the paint the way he's capable of doing. And then real quick, key number 2 and 3, ball security for Arizona. KU does not force a ton of turnovers. Do not give Fog Allen a reason to get hype in this game by turning it over, giving them extra possessions. Key number 3, upper class production. With this road environment the way it is, you're going to need Krivas, Awaka, Dell'Orso, Jaden Bradley to really step up in this game, Damon.
Yeah, it has now been announced the starting 5 for Kansas here, Kevin. Jamari McDowell will be stepping in for one Darryn Peterson, and it's a big drop-off. It really is. Jamari McDowell, 3.8 points per game, 1.6 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 38.2% from the field. Sophomore guard, 6'5", leading scorer or highest scoring output this year, Kevin. 23 minutes he played against Davidson. He put up 10 points, put up 9 against Syracuse in 34 minutes, put up 8 against UConn in 32 minutes. And I think those are some of the games maybe that involved Darryn Peterson not starting in them and gave him a little bit more minute share there. And I think that, he maybe he adds about 8 points here, but it's not Darryn Peterson. It's a big step down. And it definitely gives the Wildcats a big leg up in this matchup. No doubt about it.
Yeah, it certainly does. Pardon me. And, without Darryn Peterson, Damon,
Kevin's just really choked up that Darryn Peterson
I kind of am.
is out. Like this guy loves hoops.
I kind of am. I've been looking forward to this for some time now. Woke up this morning and I felt like Freebird was playing over the airwaves outside. Like life was just so good. I was going to get into the cinema of it all. Brayden Burries and Darryn Peterson, and it definitely takes a lot of air out of the matchup. But I do think it gives Arizona a chance still to flex their muscle on national TV in a matchup where people were looking for Darryn Peterson, and they're going to find the Arizona Wildcats.
Ivan Kharchenkov on Trey White.
Yeah,
is that the new matchup here that you want to see?
Probably. Yeah, I would have loved to see Ivan get a chance at Darryn Peterson, but we will not. We will wait a couple weeks until Darryn Peterson maybe travels to Tucson. Maybe he's too sick to board a plane to Tucson. I don't know. But, I would love to see Ivan guard Trey White and maybe guard outside of the view of one Tony Padilla, Damon. But to wrap this one up.
Peterson out, Padilla in. I think our guy, who was it, 520, I'm blanking here, but one second I see it, I'm gonna kick myself for it. Type in 520 on the search.
Yeah, you're smart. You're a smarter man than me.
Up Scuppy 520. Yeah. DP out. Padilla.
Yes. Maybe the worst exchange in all of human history from a basketball standpoint.
I have a proposal.
Yes, Darryn Peterson, and you get Tony Padilla. What? But yeah, Damon, I was going to have a whole thing on guys that need to step up in this matchup because you had Darryn Peterson in this whole thing. I still think it stands because the road environment is so raucous. So I'll do a mini version of that real quick. I was going to say, I said upper class production was a big key to this game, but I think this definitely applies yet still. Mo Krivas, this is a chance for him to show that he is the best defender in the country. There's a lot of hooey going on about like a Demara and Ruben Chinyelu, who got sunned by Tobe Awaka in the first game of the season. And then you got, Flory Badunga in this conversation for Defensive Player of the Year as well. And I think that he deserves to be in it just as Ruben Chinyelu does. But what people are not talking about enough is the impact of one Motiejus Krivas in this conversation. I think he has a chance tonight to show that he is the best defender in his class right now at the big man position. And I think he has a chance to show that he does not slow down against similar caliber big men to him. He does not wilt next to these kind of guys. And he has a chance to really impact this game, especially now that Darryn Peterson is out, because KU is going to need some easy buckets, and he's not going to allow any easy buckets in this one.
Super exciting, Kevin. Despite even missing a Darryn Peterson in this game, it still will be absolute Kharchenkov. And, of course, that Kevin and Damon are going to be doing a watch-along for it. If it's a big-time Big 12 matchup, it's a Kevin and Damon watch-along. So if you guys want to watch with the crew over here, please tune in. We might have Saul Bookman join in and just make it a little bit of a party. You want to watch some hoops with Kevin, Damon, maybe a little bit of Saul. Let's do it over on the AZ Wildcats watch-along. And then, of course, we got post-game 10 minutes after the final buzzer sounds. So be here for that on this very same channel. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, we hit 50K today. Become a part of the family here. Subscribe. Get us over 50K. We are now on the road to 100, Kevin. It's bigger and better things going on over here at PHNX Sports. 50K. It was a long time coming. We are now there, and now we strive for more. So appreciate everybody that is a part of the family. Become a part of the family if you haven't done so yet. And like this video. Let's run it up on this AZ Wildcats pregame show. Let's like this video, and we will catch you on our watch along and on our postgame show. Appreciate everybody for watching this one. Kevin, anything else before we get on out of here?
Really, really quickly, and no, Peterson is not playing tonight. Jamie Clifton. Our score predictions for this one. This was pre-Peterson, but I have 82. Throw it out the window. I have 82 to 74. Damon has 82 to 77, but this was before Peterson got announced.
I still got a cover.
Out.
That's still a cover, even with the current line of 5.5, Kevin. So, you know what? I put some money down on it while we were live on air. No big deal. And we go to war. We go to war at the Fog Allen Fieldhouse as number 1 Arizona takes on number 9 Kansas in a top 10 matchup here in Lawrence. And it's a big one, even with Darryn Peterson out. Kansas still has the chops to at least make this, trouble for the Wildcats here. And I think that Kevin and I both agree that, this is still one of Arizona's toughest matchups of the season with the road environment, with the Padilla factor, you name it. This one should be a close one here, and we can't wait for it all. Again, watch along, post game, be there for that, this same channel, and appreciate everybody for watching. Follow Kevin at KevoPost. Follow me at Damon Dog with CAWG, and follow us at PHNX_Wildcats on all social media except for TikTok, where we're at AZ Wildcats Pod. Get you on watch along, but until then, peace out, bear down.
And go Cats. Let's just make it an easy dub. 15 to 20 points, no Peterson. Let's beat him up in the front court and get the hell out of the Fog.
We all silly like the mayor.